Hi everyone, welcome to Uplift Guide Launch. My name is Winston. I'm here with my good friend Patrick.
Hi Winston.
I'm so excited to be here with you today.
Yes.
Well, this is interesting because I've been waiting for this opportunity to host such a meaningful event with you for a very long time.
Yeah, this is amazing, right? I mean, I've known you for about 3 years now. Yeah,
more than that a little bit.
I'm not sure you guys are aware, but Winston here is like a TEDx curator, and he's like coached how many 200 over speakers from around the world, including Mariana Pascal, right? And her video has like how many million views again?
26 million views.
26 million. That's like the top 50 most watched YouTube video.
The TEDx
video
of all time.
TEDx video, of all time, right? So it's really a great privilege for me to be co-hosting tonight's launch of Uplift Guide. Thank you, buddy.
No problem. We're just saying that, you set the name of this series called Uplift. I love the name, why Uplift and not other words?
Wow, you have to start the show with like that really difficult question, right? So, okay, to be honest, it's related to this project I've been working on for months, since about a year plus ago. As you know, I got to know you at a time when I was really facing some major challenges in my life as well, especially in my business. And I've been working and striving and trying hard to uplift myself. So I also realized it's not something that I alone face. A lot of people are facing the same thing as well. So I wanted to put down my journey, my experiences, and I've been very fortunate. I've got a lot of resources. I work with a lot of medical practitioners, wellness experts, and I've learned so much from them. And I think the least I can do is to share this knowledge and share this experience. So since a year plus ago, I started putting together a team of people to work on my first book, which is called Uplift. So, but the book is still coming along, a couple more months to go. But I thought what would be great is to start, don't wait for the book to come up, you know what I mean? So we can start sharing what we have, what we know, and start building the community. And what better time than now when people are really needing a bit of uplift.
Definitely. I love the topic, motivational hacks to help us stay uplifted during the lockdown. This is what we are all experiencing right now,
I know, right? Yeah. In fact, talking about the lockdown and this whole pandemic, we are all juggling so many things, right? And to be honest, like the last 1 week has been a really stressful time for me. There's so many changes. When did we get a new government, by the way? Was it last week?
I think so.
No, new government, new PM, sorry. Then there were changes happening at our clinic. It's really quite stressful. And the last 2 nights I didn't sleep well. In fact, I was quite stressed. Maybe
about this one as well.
Yeah, about this one as well. I think it's a bit. But that said, it's good stress because I was stressing about and I want to honor the people that tunes in and put time aside to be with us this evening. I want to make sure that I honor them. So the usual worries lah. Will I say the wrong thing? Will I really honor them?
Don't worry about that. We're all family, right? We're all family. Yeah. I think Patrick's right. We want to honor all of you that is tuning in with us today because this is such a meaningful event. Yes. And I believe that every one of you here, if you're tuning in, I'm sure there's something that we share. And I feel like maybe it's our predicament right now. We're all caught in transition in our lives right now.
I'm so glad that I'm with you this evening to calm my nerves and to kind of guide this whole conversation along this evening. And I hope the audience will also engage with us because this is, after all, a live session, right? In fact, I'm really excited because really grateful as well because we're such a huge team supporting us this evening, and we are streaming live across how many platforms, guys? Like 10 channels? 10? Like, wow. It's like, wow, I'm so honored, right? That the team has given so much support to make this happen. And this is really pro bono, right?
Exactly. So all our friends that's watching this from all 10 channels, remember, this is not a one-way conversation, okay? This is a three-way conversation and here with you. So please participate in this conversation by commenting. We'll receive all the comments here and we'll be able to address your questions. I really wish that tonight, we'll build some friendship here,
Yes.
because I think, what I really wish to achieve through this event is also, get vulnerable. Because this topic, you cannot speak from a high level.
Exactly. That was what I was struggling with, because my wife always tells me, hey, the things you talk to atas, you got to bring yourself down to the ground and be vulnerable and like really have a heart-to-heart talk.
Exactly.
So what I want to do is like call out to everyone, like if you feel that this topic is meaningful and it could potentially impact or could perhaps uplift someone that you love or please share the link out. And we are on LinkedIn, we are on YouTube, we're on Facebook. It's amazing. So help us spread the word and spread a bit of happiness.
Exactly. And one more thing is that this is not just a one-off event. We have a series. That's why
right.
This is an Uplift Guide launch. So what Uplift Guide is that it's going to have a lot of other speakers speaking. We have our alliances, that are supporting us.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Amazing. So these people will be featured in our upcoming Uplift Guide series. And if you want to sign up for future events, all you need to do is just to scan that QR code later. It will be shown on screen. Or our friends here will be tagging this link on the comment section. All you need to do is just to click into it and sign up, and you'll meet us there, okay? And remember, this is really a virtual gathering we're having here. This is not like a YouTube video where you just watch and, just sit back and relax. We really want you to be part of this conversation, okay?
Thank you.
Just now, we heard a little bit about you. I just wanted to introduce you properly, okay?
Thank you.
Now, Patrick is amazing. He has over 30 years of experience in brands. And I think it's not only brands right now, because of all the projects he runs. I always know that he's a visionary. He's a visionary leader because he leads a lot of different interesting projects right now, even, from biohacking to projects that helps people to connect their brains to their body through his clinic right now. I see a lot of big concepts coming from him and then being executed and impacts a lot of people, So this is so interesting that today we'll be able to have a conversation about how he motivate himself during the lockdown, isn't it? Yeah. So I wanted to say something. Right now, it's really an interesting time where we are going through a lot of changes. Correct or not? I think because of the transition, we are all limited in terms of resources, a lot of opportunities to have social interactions or even physical activities. So a lot of my friends or my families are really trapped at home, right? And for some, this is really peaceful, where they can really, for the first time since forever, they can actually stay grounded and stay with themselves. But a lot of them just cannot get used to this kind of way, and because of that, they get depressed. They feel like they're not themselves, and then some even suffer from depression because of the changes and the loss. So I just feel like, I would want to ask you this question.
Sure.
You deal with so many medical practitioners, or even, you work with a lot of
hypnotherapists.
I always don't know how to pronounce that word. Hypnotherapists. You work with them, these people care a lot about their patients or people around them, about their mental well-being as well, right? Why do you think people are more depressed during this time?
That's a really great question to kick off tonight's webinar. I think apart from what we already know, what the World Health Organization has shared, that the pandemic has actually has a huge impact because there's less physical activity, people are staying home, and there's a lot of changes, like huge changes, like kids are homeschooling, right, and people are working from home. But that's the things that we kind of know on the surface. But what really was interesting for me, and I heard this about 2-3 weeks ago from one of our hypnotherapist partners. And what she said really made me go, wow, it's like a light bulb moment to me, right? So here's what she said. She said, you know what, pre-pandemic, what happened is for most people, like you and me, on a stressful day, we would say, hey, come, we chill, we go and roti canai, or we go and watch a movie. There is opportunities for escapism, in other words.
Oh, true.
Right? And then many young people, they travel, right? They travel, they do all sorts of crazy stuff, very YOLO, so to speak, right? But during the pandemic, all that changed. Why? Because more and more people are staying, they have to face 4 walls, and they have not that much opportunity to connect with people. You can't go to cinemas, you can't do a lot of things. And that means you need to really face your inner demons, and there's probably a lot more self-talk. And in your work working with a lot of TEDx speakers, the brain is kind of inclined towards negativity.
Oh, true.
So when you have a lot of self-talk and you're literally alone, and then many people are not as lucky as we are. I know, like you've moved down from Penang to KL, and you hang out with a bunch of really young, motivated, passionate people, right? And who's fighting and got that kambade kind of spirit all the time. I live with my family, and my kids are bubbly, they're goofy, they uplift me all the time.
They are.
But you met them, right? But for many people, like I've got a friend who's actually very separated. He hasn't seen his parents for more than a year because the parents are in Sabah, and he's living alone, and he's feeling really depressed, right? The other day, another patient came in. I felt so xing suan. In Mandarin we say very xing suan, because like she lost so much weight. We have this device called the body composition analysis. And it was just so saddened me to see that like her muscle mass was so low, and she has been losing don't know how many kg in just a very short time. And when our dietitian spoke to her, she was saying that she just didn't feel like eating. Sometimes she's just like maybe one meal, and that one meal could be just like, if she felt like it, like Milo and 2 biscuits. And
that's bad.
It's really, really bad, right? So yeah, so I don't know. It's really a difficult time for a lot of people, and I think we're just very fortunate and very blessed and very grateful, like we are.
Exactly.
Sometimes we stress a lot about things, like of course all of us have our worries, right?
A lot, anxiety.
We've got bills coming, we've got we worry about the business, are we going to be able to pay the salaries? But you know what, there are a lot of people who can't even put food on the table, right? And people who are suffering from mental health issues and depression.
Exactly.
So tonight, it's all about that.
It's all about that.
It's all about that. We want to be very real about this, and we hope that the audience, like what Winston has invited, do share, because I think this is a forum. I would like to say it's a discussion, it's a conversation. If you have things to share that can move people, can impact on people, to help. I'm not sure how many people can reach tonight to uplift some people. I think we've done our job this evening. Yeah,
exactly.
And this is just the beginning. It's just the beginning of a series of webinars, and I think our team actually. We just shared the QR code, right?
Yes.
So, so that's where you can actually. Thank you, Joel. It's there. So you can just scan the code, and then sign up for the upcoming seminars.
Exactly.
So this evening, it's just the two of us, but we will be sharing with you kind of a preview of the speakers coming up.
Yes, definitely. So just want to add on to one thing. Just now, Patrick said something about let's get raw and real today.
Yes.
Exactly. Let's really do that. And speaking of raw and real, I picked some photos on Facebook.
What have you done?
Because Patrick's really interesting. He does like a million things in his life. And I want to find something interesting and prompt him to share, right? So if you guys can flash out that photo I chose, that comparison from. Do you guys have? Oh yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yes. Can we have it bigger? Somehow, so that people can see it. Guys, when I saw this, I'm like, who's that person? Is that you?
Yes,
I don't know, 50 years ago.
That's probably from, I think about 9-10 years ago, I would say.
You look so different. Is that you? Is it really you?
Yes, it is.
How old are you right now? Is that secret? No, it's not.
There's no secret. I'm turning 48 soon, in a couple of months.
Oh my gosh, you're 48.
2 years away from
oh my gosh, you're like my granddad.
Thank you. I was just talking to the team, just I feel so old because I'm literally 2 decades older than the average age of the team right here this evening. Yeah.
So tell us, if you are 48 indeed, but how did that happen? Is it? How did it happen? What happened from that to now?
Okay.
What did you do?
What did I do? Gosh, why do you do that, man?
Because I think everyone wants. You look so young right now. You look like we're the same age.
Thank you.
So what's happening?
All right. So what happened was about 10 years ago. I wasn't in a very good space, I would say, in terms of definitely my health. I think I was very tired, I was unhappy, and I was suffering from a lot of pain, mainly due to a back issue, right? And I decided to make some changes in my life. So one of the things I chanced upon, I had a chance to start experimenting, was this concept called biohacking.
Love it. Love it. I love
So
that word.
the two words, right? Biohacking. So I'm sure people have heard of like hacking computers and hacking programs and stuff like that. So this is about hacking your body, you know? So what's that?
Hacking.
Hacking, okay.
Hacking
so
the body.
the biological side of things is like, it's very interesting for me because I've always since young been very obsessed with optimizing human potential. Right? Since young, I'm a very like a pensive, very thoughtful sort of a little kid.
Yeah.
Weird lah. The black sheep in the class, always the weird guy, you know, who read Aristotle and Plato when he's 12 type of weird boy, you know.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I love doing experiments, and with biohacking, it's very intriguing because it's all about like understanding how you can kind of tweak the chemistry and physiology of your body to upgrade your brain, to upgrade your mind, to upgrade your body, right? And it's all like using all this latest science and things that people like kind of testing out in labs and stuff like that. So, so apart from that, I think it's also a lot of linking closely to that. It's all these incremental lifestyle changes. Of course, it's not just about the things that you read online about biohacking supplements and all this
Which is
technological
useful
stuff, which is useful.
Yeah.
But there are some like lifestyle things which to me is also biohacking.
Yeah.
Right. So I was very fortunate when I had that health crisis. I was I was introduced to Iyengar yoga, amazing form of yoga.
Yeah.
That helped me to learn to be a more open, more relaxed person. I think when you got to know me 3 years ago, I was not already not that really aggressive, that very hard person already, right?
Yeah.
But if you knew me like maybe 20 years ago, I used to be really like hard as nails and like sometimes when I stress, I fall back into that default sometimes. But the point is, when I picked up yoga and then eventually also Tai Chi. So
Tai Chi, wait.
Yes. What?
Remember I said that I like scroll through your Facebook? I found a video of him playing Tai Chi. Do you guys have that?
Playing Tai Chi. We
Can
don't
I
play Tai
that?
Chi.
What was that called? You do Tai Chi. Can we play that? Look at that. Drama, yeah. But
Drama,
it looks so professional.
No wonder you're one of the best TEDx curators.
What?
You like kind of curated a lot of things behind my back, yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's your Tai Chi, right? You look so
Yes,
good.
it's a form of Tai Chi called Chen style Tai Chi. So I fell in love with it because it really changed me as a being, a human being. Because it changed my way of being. It changed my way of being because it took me like at least 6 months to just really get the concept. Because when I was younger, I used to be a commercial dancer. So everything is about, I did hip hop and funk and jazz and all that, and everything's like has to be performed with sharpness and strength and speed and everything's like fast, you know?
True.
Then all of a sudden it's like I got to slow down. Imagine the agony, and it's like, and then my master would say, this is not a dance. You don't need to make it look like you're showing or you're doing a performance, because I'm already used to that, because being a stage performer, you're like, once I'm stage, okay, I'm ready to perform. Right? So I had to really shift my way of being. And Chen style Tai Chi is amazing because, and I'll share a little bit more later, because I prepared a couple of slides to share with the audience this evening. But the concept of Tai Chi is so intriguing. It's based on the ancient book called I Ching, right? So it's also known as the book of change. So the world, I hope I'm not going too philosophical. Please stop me if I go too philosophical, right? You know me, I'm a very philosophical kind of guy. So, but the world is very governed by all these contrasting, polarized concepts like day and night, hard and soft, fast and slow. So it's in constant flow and constant change. Just like you noticed in the video just now, there was this yin-yang thing behind me. And I was also doing a succession of soft and then hard moves, you know.
True.
So so that took me like really a long time to just grasp that concept, and just watching it or you will not get it. You need to do it yourself to really internalize. And like I said, 6 months only got me to like, oh, now I get it. And it took me another couple more years to finally like
master it.
Not even master it, like just like be at that level, just not that really amateur. So much for me. I learned that slowing down sometimes can be a lot more.
Wow.
Right. And during this pandemic, it really, really allowed me to like, again, okay, I've known this concept for a couple of years now, but you know what? There's a reason why the universe, okay, I'm not getting too spiritual, but there's a reason why, the universe may have all wanted all human beings to just, hey guys, I think you've done a lot of harm to Earth. Time to slow down and like reflect, like, come on, reflect and do something about it, It could be that, But anyway, in so many aspects, I slowed down and I re-strategized, I reflected on what I want to do in my life, what legacy I want to leave behind, and I did a 360 change. I think you know what happened last year. Not last year, 2 years ago, I had a huge failure in one of our business ventures, and I literally restarted. Right?
Yeah, you did
on that thing. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's just a little bit about what happened in the last 10 years. A lot. I went through a lot. I mean, like in the last 10 years, but it is really the environment, my family, which I would love to share a bit more, because over and beyond whatever we're going to talk about tonight, first and foremost, it's really the family that keeps me uplifted. That's so amazing. The last 10 years, without the support of the family, I wouldn't even be here, right?
Oh,
right? To even look younger, so to speak. Yeah. But thanks for the compliment. Like, it's something I strive towards because I feel that I have like a bit of responsibility here. I feel like it's my job in the world to like, hey, I'm not how should I say? I'm definitely not perfect. Don't see me as there, because you know what? Every day I'm struggling. Every day I'm fighting, and I try all sorts of things. I fail quite badly sometimes. But I feel like keep doing it lah.
I'm just thinking, right? Just now we were saying that we need to like bring this, whole thing like raw and real. But the more you share, the more I feel, respect of what I have been through. But really, the more you hang out with him, he mentors a lot of people, right? I've personally met the people you mentored before. A lot of people find him really inspiring. When he shares his story on social media or through his work. And I always realized that people see him as this role model, right? Because I feel like you focus so much on trying to connect yourself with your work meaningfully, and also while you immerse yourself in that work, you connect your brain, your body to really fully to reach optimal success through what you do. I think that's amazing. But I think what's more interesting is that we go through us working together in the past and really knowing the way you work. I just want to share with you guys a little bit. I think 3 years ago, we get quite close because of our predicament. I feel like in business, it's really stressful at times. I think sometimes it's still stressful now.
It is.
But that was the time where we're in an interesting in a place where we're not stable, in terms of our emotion, our health, and the way we handle our work. And we became each other's like 4 a.m. buddies. You know what it means, 4 a.m. buddies?
I remember, Winston would try to go sleep at 4 o'clock, and I will wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning,
yes,
right?
and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I can't sleep. And he's like, he can't sleep as well, but he woke up already like 4. And then we'll like text each other and say, so what's happening now? And then, we send each other words of encouragement and everything. So you see, that drastic is, that gap, between how people see you and how you actually also sometimes go through a lot of hardship. So I just wanted to, take this chance to ask you this question today. Since we're talking about motivational hacks for everyone to, improve the way they live during the lockdown, I'm sure that everyone else is like this as well. They have their best self at work or sometimes, when things goes well. But right now, maybe they're in the mud. They're really bogged down by their emotions.
Yes.
And at this downtime, how can they stay uplifted? I just pass it over to you to share with us. Wow. What do you have for us today?
Always give me the best questions. I think Winston is right. I mean, like some friends have given me feedback like, hey, thanks for posting all this like uplifting, inspiring stuff on your Facebook. It's like, hey, you seem like very happy. You're very blessed. Yes, I am very, very blessed, and I do have my struggles, like Winston says, and on certain days, it gets so stressful. Like I will wake up a couple of times through the night as well, and so many things going on with business, with passion projects as well. Because I like to do so many things, right? So I need to learn how to prioritize. But I think every single person is different, and whilst when I was thinking about what is my key message for this evening, Winston, I was like, I need to make this relevant to everyone, right? And I cannot compare myself to the masses out there, because I think you and I feel both of us are very, very blessed, especially if, for me, my family. Like, for example, just now we talked about like how people are separated and isolated from their families. No matter how stressful I am, or no matter how down or any bad news that I receive on a day, when I get home, I get greeted by my dogs, for example. They leap around, they look so happy, and my kids will rush out trying to hug me and say, hold on, I have not sanitized myself, I'm not showered yet. So they'll take out the gun and start like sanitizing me, right? And and dinner is ready by my helper, and yes, we do have financial worries and all that, but you know what? I still have a helper preparing dinner.
Yeah.
So, and I've got such a wonderful family. My wife is amazing. I met Sue before. She's just a pillar of strength. And we kind of balance each other out really, really well. Like, I'm typically the more strict, I think you can tell, the more strict of the two parents. No junk food, you got to do your homework, I mean, I go around with them, but I'm also quite strict. The mom loves to do stuff that I wouldn't approve, because me being the fitness and health freak, right? The health nut. I would like frown when she would like fry bread, like make Korean donuts and like all the unhealthy stuff. But you know what? It makes the kids happy, right? It makes the kids really happy, right? So I think that leads me to also one of the concepts I will be sharing later on about balance, right? And life's like that, and that's also what I learned from Tai Chi. You cannot be too rigid all the time. Like this is the way how it should be. Sometimes you just need to let go. May I say in Chinese, we say 接受 and 放下. I think a lot of people are suffering because they cannot let go. They're like very rigid, like this is how things should be, or they maybe feel a certain regret, or they feel guilty, or they're just bashing themselves. People are just not very kind to themselves. They're not gentle with themselves. They're just too judgmental. I'm not good enough. I'm never going to be able to do this, and that has a lot to do with probably self-identity and maybe even some trauma when they were young, right? So yeah, so it's about that balance. But you know what? I'm not in a position to really like teach or tell you how to be uplifted, but I can only share from my own experience. Firstly, from the experience of having such a wonderful family, that the environment is really important. I mean, despite how stressful I am, and I don't want to talk too much about my business venture and all that, but it was really, really the biggest setback I've ever faced in my entire life, because I've always been like a achiever since young, studies and work and all that. And so it was a huge setback, and I tell you, without my family to support me, I wouldn't be able to survive that crisis, right? So that led me to want to share the importance of environment, right? So, and that is closely linked to the fact that you need to be aware what environment you are in. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? So, like someone who lives alone, away from the family, needs to be aware that, okay, I'm alone. I'm more prone to like a lot of self-talk, and I'm more prone to potentially getting depression. So what should I do, right? So where does it start? It starts from awareness, self-awareness, as well as awareness of the surrounding, right? So like I said, I'm very lucky because I've got a wonderful, uplifting environment. Thank God for that, right? But if the person doesn't have that, then what can you do about it? And I think this is also why, just now the first question you asked me this evening was like, why Uplift Guide, right? Why start this Uplift Cafe group on Facebook? And it's exactly that. We want to create the environment. We want to create that community. We want to provide the resources and mentors like yourself so that they can ask questions like right now. If you have a question or you have something you want to share,
please do.
If something we said kind of meant something to you or touched you, please give us an affirmation so we know we're on the right track.
Exactly.
And we do have audience that's following us. But anyway, coming back, I think the environment is really important. And then followed by the awareness. The other really important thing is, would you agree that, like I mentioned just now, most people are very harsh on themselves? Right?
Definitely.
Yeah. So I think people need to have more compassion for themselves. And I believe that it's again, going back to balance. Like just now I talked about Tai Chi, right? It's finding that balance. Because this spectrum, I believe, this self-compassion spectrum, I call it. On one end is like you're very harsh, like I'm not good enough and I'm never going to be doing it. I'm just a lazy person, and you just get stuck there, and it's like a downward spiral all the time. And then you find it very hard to get out of that. And that's when maybe you need someone to
uplift you,
like see a hypnotherapist or like hang out with us. On the other hand, on the other extreme is what I call indulgent complacency.
Wow.
So what that means is indulgent complacency. So it's you're being indulgent, and it's like, imagine like you wake up in the morning and you've planned like, okay, like I know you just started a 90 days challenge, right? You want to like lose some weight and like get fit and all that. So I know you have like a regime now. So imagine tomorrow morning you wake up, the alarm goes off and say, I'm not feeling so good, a bit lazy lah. Maybe yesterday I worked so hard. Okay lah, never mind lah, I start tomorrow. Okay, fine, you're being gentle with yourself, right? Okay, because you don't want to be too harsh. Because last night you worked really hard. But then, the next day, it happens again. Alarm goes off, and like, body's still not feeling so good. I think I'm a bit tired. I think I should be gentle with myself. That happens on the third day, and the fourth day, and the fifth day. And now that's called indulgent complacency, right? So there's two extremes there. So it's important to have the awareness on where you are at in this spectrum, this self-compassion spectrum on these two extremes.
Interesting. How do we draw the line then? For example, I used to have a question with my friend. He wanted to transform himself as well. But it's always being procrastinated. And then I said this to him and say that, do you love your current self or your future self more? If you love your future self more, do it now, even if it means that you're going to suffer a little bit, but you're going to get there. And that is a form of self-love too, right? Maybe if you love that complacent, indulgent complacency, it means that you don't love your future self enough. And what if the future self is better for you? So
it's hard, right? So there is no absolute answer to that as well, and which leads me to the fact that it's in constant flow. And like I said, just like how the world was created and is currently in motion, with like from what we learn from I Ching, right? It's in constant flow. It's always changing. And we need to constantly be scanning ourselves. So this is the other concept I want to share tonight, right? The concept of the importance of regular scanning. So like in my clinic, for example, we do a lot of scanning, or in hospitals, people do medical scans, right? MRIs and X-rays and all that. But you know what? We can do scanning every single day. And not we should do self-scanning.
Okay.
Right? So what do we scan? We scan our body with our mind, right? So when I wake up in the morning, this is one of the hacks that I wanted to share this evening, that like when I wake up in the morning, I don't get up immediately, or I try my best. Sometimes I also fall short, but I remind myself, okay, create a habit, don't reach up on my phone first, I will keep my eyes closed, and I start doing a scan. So I scan how my body is doing on the day, and through that scanning, so I do it step by step. Okay, I bring my attention to my toes, to my feet, my ankles, my calves, and I move up slowly, bit by bit by bit. And it's very interesting, because when you pay attention to your body, it's very interesting what the body sometimes is able to tell you. I mean, the body is always giving you signals, right? That perhaps like you might feel a little bit of a twitch on one of the in your arm. But if you do not slow down and do that scan, you're going to go through the rest of the day or the ensuing many days without maybe just ignoring it, and that becomes chronic. You get what I mean?
Of course.
Because you don't have the awareness, you're not scanning yourself, right? So I love this concept of like body scans, and this is one of the practices in meditation. So sometimes I do not like to use the word meditation because people are like, oh, meditation is not for me. So I can't imagine.
Religious.
Yeah, like they have to like sit cross-legged and like go and
I'm
for
not that
hours.
kind of person.
I'm not the kind of person. Meditation is not for me. I'm the outgoing one. But you know what? To be honest, body scan is form of meditation, right?
So
Tai Chi is a form of meditation. It's moving meditation.
A prayer time is a form of meditation too. I have it every day.
Yeah, that's form of meditation. It's really just being mindful, and that's closely related to the concept of being aware of yourself.
I want to ask you one question. So I am very aware about myself every day. You're saying your body scan. I thought you did like really thorough scan.
You need to do that too. You need to do that too.
I do that. I subscribe to the belief that quantified self really helps to reach your optimal success.
Yep.
So I track everything every day. I think I would even use the word brutal audit of everything.
Wow.
So I have this productivity app. So I have like all like 100 habits I have to do every day. So every night I will go back and just like swipe whatever I've done or which part that I did not do. So that's like to track everything that you promised you're going to do and whether or not you did it, right? And also, I weigh myself every day with my body composition index and everything.
I know you lost 2 kgs like last week.
Yes, not because of stress, because of like not eating junk food, right? So and also I also measure my sleep quality. So there's this app called Sleep Cycle. So every day I track and see if I sleep enough hours and enough quality. So I just want to ask you this question: when someone subscribes to such brutal audit about his life, right? Is this good? Because the brutal audit sometimes. You think too much ahead.
I'm going to go back to my the same answer same thought process I shared with you earlier. Is that it's different and it's true. I'm not just saying it because it's like a standard political correct answer, but it's really, really true that every single person is different. So I'm going to use an example of a very close colleague of mine, and you know her. She's been working with me for the last 7 years, and we have gone through ups and downs the last 7. She has gone through ups and downs with me, and I'm so grateful to have her. And she has been going through a lot of challenges, and I would say, I mean, she has awareness. She's like, look, and because she's working with me, right, and she's more exposed and has more access to all these resources. So I'm really glad that she took the move and said, look, Pat, I think I might be depressed. Right. So she reached out to our hypnotherapist and she signed herself up on a series of therapies.
I'm glad she does.
And what we discovered was that the issues that she faced when she was younger, which sometimes we like to forget, our subconscious mind, it's oh wow. Do we have time, right? I don't know. Time flies.
Maybe we don't have.
I'm not sure whether I have time. Do we have time?
But I need to hear this story.
Yeah, this is.
I didn't know this side about her though.
Yeah. So you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, but okay, I'm going to make it shorter, right? Just shorten it. So the thing is that she obviously has certain trauma that she's faced earlier when she was younger, and that has caused her to have a certain self-identity and a certain pattern that is self-sabotaging, right? So every time she does pretty well, then she will just self-sabotage herself. And like I said, the pandemic basically amplifies that because you are even more stressed. When the brain is stressed, okay, sorry, a bit technical here, scientific here, it's operating at a higher brainwave level, like beta level all the time, right? So you're literally at the fight and flight mode all the time.
No, that's terrible.
Yeah, and you're not operating at a level where you're relaxed and you are able to work out these feelings and emotions. So your mind is clouded and you don't make the right decision, the best decisions for yourself every day.
Definitely.
It's like it becomes a downward spiral. Right. So going back to the reason why I brought it up and to answer your question is you can't ask that it can't apply that same thing to her, for example.
Yeah.
Right? We have to help people where they're at, or meet people where they're at. If they're here, we help them lift them up to this level. But for you, you're already like, you have the awareness, and you've been working with all these amazing TEDx speakers, with ideas that change the world, right?
Yeah.
You're so well exposed, and you have the awareness, and your family, your upbringing, your environment, all that has helped you form who you are. So if you're ready for that, and you want to push yourself to the next level, to the optimize the best version of yourself, that's fine. But you know what? For her, she's not ready for that. Yeah. She needs to iron out some things. She needs to like reconnect with her older self to maybe release some of those regret or the pain before she can think about the future self.
That's true.
Well, I thought about that also, I feel like.
Sometimes it's not always about breaking through, right? Sometimes it's about healing and taking that
so
time
everyone
off.
is at a different point in their life.
Yeah.
So when I was preparing for this session this evening, I was also thinking to myself, like, I need to be careful to make sure that I don't make like sweeping statements and like, oh, this is good for you, and no, it doesn't work for everyone. There's no one solution for everyone.
Exactly.
Right? So I hope whatever we're sharing would be helpful to some people, or maybe not to you, but perhaps could be helpful to someone else. Please help us share that little bit of that love or care.
Yeah, it's amazing. Wow. Thank you so much for all these lessons.
Yeah. Actually, my turn to ask you a question instead. Right. So, you have been like coaching, you've been like, and I know you do amazing work coaching like speakers to prepare their like 20 minutes talk on TEDx, right?
Yeah.
And Mariana Pascal is one of those like amazing speaker, right?
So good.
So you coach people, you mentor people. I know you're stressed too, right?
Very.
You're very, very stressed, right? So how do you handle the stress? And like on one hand, you're stressed, right? And then on the other hand, it's like you are like you're working to like uplift these people, and like you have, because as leaders, I know how it feels. Like as a leader, we have to maintain a certain level of energy. Like, okay, we may be very feeling low, and then we got like, you know what, pull ourselves up, man. We have to set that energy and set that tone, because otherwise we will affect the people that we're mentoring.
That's true.
So we I don't know, how do you do it? Like, I've always been very curious.
I think
it's a challenge for me,
I think I'm stressed in many different ways. Like a lot of the coaching I do, I help global speakers or writers, thought leaders to capture their message in their life's work so that it will be presented the best way possible to, I always use this like tagline, moving narratives for a moving world. This is a changing world.
Moving narratives
for a moving world. So moving narratives means the story has to move people. It is touching, it is impactful. But you have to cater it for a changing world. The world's moving all the time.
So deep.
Yeah. So I always believe in that. So a lot of people come to me for that. And I feel like they come to me sometimes feeling lost because they have been doing so many meaningful things in their lives, and now they have to like boil it down to just one message. And it's not really just for personal breakthrough or fame or anything. Sometimes it is really to have that clarity. What do I carry forward with right now? What is my torching focus in my work right now? So we sort of help them to find that. And usually it's not only just speakers, but also entrepreneurs that needs to find a message, find their leadership point of view, to move forward with their business breakthrough. So, when I'm coaching them, sometimes you feel like you're not just giving them tips on presentation. It's really walking with them to understand how you can uplift them at that point because they're lost.
I want to interrupt you for a while.
Yeah.
So when you mentor them and motivate them and all that, do you feel motivated yourself, like in the process?
Definitely, like seeing how they have, are transformed in just a few sessions gives me so much satisfaction. And sometimes I feel like, a lot of work that I do, like a lot of you that knows me, we handle big projects, big events, and sometimes it takes months and months to produce a work. And then once it's finished and it's done, right, it goes down into a resume and that's all. But, with coaching, sometimes you show up for that moment fully, wholeheartedly. And then that 100% that you invest for that 1 hour makes so much difference for that person's life for a very long time. And sometimes it felt effortless. And I feel like a lot of people would ask me, like, how do you always stay so happy when you're coaching? You're so positive, right?
I know, right?
And I realized that
the energy.
And I realized there's really this reason. I subscribe to this belief that, we need to have macro patience in what we do,
macro patience,
but microaggression.
Okay, say that again. Macro patience and micro
aggression.
Okay,
So,
wow.
so like I can do the same thing again and again and again and again and again because I've fixated my mind on that big division. So I have macro patience. But then the small things, I'll be aggressive to want to get it done. Like people that works with me knows that if I have a goal that I need to achieve at the end of the day, I don't get it, my hands will shake. I'm like, why is it not happening yet? So imagine that translated into stress when things really don't go your way, right? So that's my challenge. So I think no matter
so does it mean that like the macro is when you zoom out, look at the entire forest?
I can be very patient.
And actually that's kind of like a camera shutter as well, right? You zoom in and you zoom out, and zoom in and zoom out. I'm going to say that again. Zoom in and zoom out. And I think that is literally, if I may, is kind of how you find that balance as well. Because when you get really, really stressed about like, why isn't this working, right? Like I've told you, now you got to get it done this way by this time. Why is it not done? Then hang on, zoom out.
Yeah.
Hey, it's not that bad. Maybe it happened for a reason, right? So then you zoom out.
Exactly.
But then you can't zoom out all the time. You got to zoom in to look at the details too.
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
Yeah, exactly.
I love our...
right.
Okay.
You didn't mention the word balance. I have an interesting definition for my own, like how do I achieve balance? I think my generation, we care a lot about like work-life balance or integration, right? We need to like work hard, play hard. But I really do believe that balance is not a state. You can't achieve balance. How do you achieve balance? How do you know? I have equal amount of stress and good things coming in. You can't do that, right? So the way I do it is usually just having this constant motion of when I'm here too much, I pull myself up.
Exactly.
Right? Balance.
It's just like Tai Chi, right?
Yes. So constant balance is a verb. It's not motion. A state.
And also that links to one of the other thing I really want to share is again sometimes the Chinese language is so powerful. It's like such deep meanings, right? The word 接受, which means accept, and 放下 is so important because we need to first of all be aware that the world is constantly changing. I mean, we know, but sometimes we just refuse to let go to certain things that we're attached to. So once we are okay, and okay meaning like we 接受, right? We accept that change is constant. The only thing that is constant is change, right?
Yeah.
So then we will not apply so much meaning, and I like the word you use, narrative. We do not need to apply a narrative to every single thing that happens. Oh, this happened because da 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 da. This happened because that person's like that.
Yeah.
We tend to apply a lot of meaning because of the narrative we have of our own life. Like, you know what I mean? Like when we grow up, we have a narrative because we learn that narrative from parents, from environment, from friends. So we kind of like just an example I give you about my dear colleague. It's also the narrative that she's been feeding on.
Yeah.
This
That's what you can tell, right? When we coach people, it's not just about the solutions that you give them. Right. It's also about how do you alter that story that he or she is telling himself.
Exactly.
If he keeps thinking like that, you can't change him, right? Yeah.
So coming back to that whole constant flux is that once we are able to accept that nothing is necessarily good or bad, that's when you really know, I can 放下 already. It just has to happen. Just let it happen. And then what happens is you'll feel a lot more relaxed and in flow, and just let things happen as they come along.
I just love that like Tai Chi posture that you're having right now.
Really.
I'm just feeling like I'm
that flow. Let's go with the flow, okay? And it just has to happen. It is what it is. There's nothing you can do about the past because it's already past, and you hang on to it and you regret, and it's on the autoplay mode. There's nothing you can do about it. What about focusing on the now? Right?
The now is what you can control. The now is what you have.
And thinking too much ahead, also no point, because you can't predict what's going to happen in the future. I mean, you can worry about whether the debt collector is going to come after you again tomorrow or next week, whatever, but that's not going to change anything. But what can you do now? If you need sleep now, sleep.
Yeah. Because
you wake up tomorrow and you tackle the problem tomorrow.
Definitely.
So, 接受, 放下, accept and let go, right?
One of the things that you said just now about interpreting the narrative that, whatever that is going on in your life, how do you interpret that, right? Yeah. I think it's also very crucial about how I approach the emotions that I'm going through. that, like I love what I think her name is Susan David. She's a researcher on resilience and emotional agility. I love her work simply because she mentioned that emotions are indicators, right? So if you're feeling angry or anxiety right now, what does your emotion tells you what you value? So every time when I go through some emotions and episodes, I see that as a opportunity to reveal or surface some of the things that I value. Sometimes it will be shocking. I didn't know I valued this so much, right? Sometimes you go on with some adventure, you just want to try things out. You thought it was an egoless experimentation, but turns out it's not, because you failed in that, and then you judge yourself and you become critical with yourself, and you said, I'm not going to do that anymore. So you see that narrative conflicts itself, right? So I believe that that's how I strive for emotional agility, where it is just information. It's like data. Data does not guarantee anything. Data informs you, and then you make the right decision on it, right? So yeah, that's how I manage it.
Let's check on the time. How much time have we taken up already? I'm sorry.
How much time?
Really, I didn't keep track.
My friends.
Okay, we're almost at a 1 hour mark, right? Okay. We can get carried away, right? Because no, actually, I wanted to do this because we spoke a lot of concepts, right? Some of them are like, okay, quite high level concepts. So what I've done is I've actually prepared some of the slides to kind of reiterate some of the points that we talked about just now. Would it be okay to share those slides?
Let's go for it.
Yeah. Connect with. Yeah. Thank you, Karina. Can we move on? Right. To the next slide, perhaps. Right. Just want to reiterate some of the points that we spoke about, so it's easier for the audience to be able to visualize. I need to put on my glasses. This gives away my age, right? Totally gives away my age. Yeah, so we talk about the environment, and the second thing closely linked to that is the people around you is also the part of the environment.
Yeah.
Right. So if you like our company, if you like our banter, please feel free to connect with us on social media or leave us a message.
Exactly.
For us, and we hope then this can be like a two-way thing as well. We really want to hear from you, some feedback about what we've talked about so far this evening. And if you like what you have heard, please do share. We've got maybe about half an hour to go.
Yeah.
Right. Share with your friends. Help us share. So we have more people joining this conversation. We spoke about being aware. Next slide, guys. Right. Thank you. So being aware of self, being aware of the environment, right? So there's another key point we spoke about earlier, and that can be achieved with scanning, self-scanning, right? Do we have a slide on self-scanning? On scanning, yeah, that's right. So what do we scan? We scan our mind, right? Through mindfulness practices, meditation. Mindfulness practices could also include things like yoga and Tai Chi, which I'm really looking forward to the sharing by some of our speakers coming up.
Yeah,
right?
Me too.
Scanning of our body, and I just shared briefly like a simple, I don't want to say the word meditation, mindfulness practice, which we can do right first thing in the morning. Let's do a body scan before jumping out of bed, right? So scanning is really important. And then we also spoke about a self-compassion spectrum. How do you like that?
I like that a lot.
Where are you at right now, Winston, in terms of the self-love spectrum?
Whether or not I love myself right now?
Between a spectrum of like on the far left is you being very self-deprecating, like I'm not good enough, I'm never good, I'm not sure whether I'm going to be able to do this, and da-da-da. On the right side extreme is like complacency, indulging complacency, remember?
I see.
Where are you at?
It fluctuates.
It's
situational.
Okay, average. Are you in the middle?
In the middle.
Perfect. That's what we want to strive for.
Yeah.
Right? So always strive for, in Buddhist philosophy, the middle way. Right? So by the way, I'm not promoting religion because Buddhism is not a religion, it's a way of life. Yeah. So it's just another philosophy to learn from. We also talk about finding the balance. So balance is a huge thing that I learned from Tai Chi, which I said it comes from the book of change, I Ching. And how can we, it's a, like I say, nothing is absolute, and nothing is binary. Binary, nothing is like how the computer works is 1 and 0, 1 and 0, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that's in motion, in constant flux. And when we are okay with that, when we 接受, when we 放下, that's when we will not be that stressed. We'll be in more flow. We feel a sense of openness in our heart. It's like, okay lah, happen lah. Then I will face it lah. And then, you know what? Yes, I had a really terrible day. I'm just going to sleep on it. Recharge tomorrow. 再来过. 再来过 means what? Go at it again tomorrow. Come again tomorrow. 明天再来. Fight again tomorrow. So find the balance, right? And then find the balance of not being too hard, not being too soft. Maybe I should put it another way. There's a time to be hard, right? I've seen you like sometimes whacking your mentees like, hey, like just on a daily basis. Happy I set up, camera 没装好. I saw you there. That was when you went hard.
Yeah.
I've also seen when you like go soft, it's like, hey guys, 吃饭了, I got 吃,
Yeah.
Soft. So we need to find the right time to be hard, to be soft, the right time to go fast, to accelerate, and the time to go slow. This is my favorite line to my daughter. It's a bit of a challenge. I don't know whether she's tuning in right now. Nighttime, please sleep. Daytime is when we work. It's actually a very simple concept, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that one I didn't mention just now, but that is also another form of balance. You need to find a way to balance your activity.
Yeah.
Right. So when it's time to rest, you rest. When it's time to dachong, you dachong. Don't like middle of the night, supposed to sleep, but you're still fighting in your mind. Fighting. When you're wasting energy, wasting a lot of, I don't know, whatever you're wasting, cells and hormones and all that. When you need to rest, because tomorrow, you know what? You got to fight again, man. Right? So find that balance.
Find a balance
and stay aware. And last but not least, we have the mind-body connection. This is my favorite topic in my upcoming book, Uplift. I mentioned that. And why I'm so passionate and why this is my favorite chapter in the book is because I realized that in my younger days, I focused a lot on the mind. Because as a Buddhist practitioner and a Dharma school teacher, I would focus a lot on the mind. Meditation, a lot of mindfulness practices, and a lot of self-training, right? And a lot about the mind. But then I realized when I went into yoga and Tai Chi, actually I realized that the mind and the body is really interconnected. Yes, when you change your mind, you can actually move your body to a certain level to change that. But I didn't realize that changing my body can change my mind too. Like, for example, Iyengar yoga, right? So a lot of Iyengar yoga is about alignment, about openness, and that really changed me as a person, right? I used to be very rigid, very like my way or the highway. When I was younger, I would just bulldoze my way. By the time I was 25, I was really director of marketing, and I really left a trail of disaster behind me. Yes, I got to where I want to be in a career at the expense of a lot of things, relationships and stuff like that. A lot of people hated me back then. Yeah, but anyway, so that it's amazing that, and if it works, let me rephrase that way. Sorry, I started babbling there, right? I think, again, everyone's different. So for some people, working on the mind might be better and more effective. For others, maybe because they're more kinesthetic in nature, then changing physically or working on the body might work better. So for me, I realized that, hey, actually, contrary to what I believe, because I am a very pensive, thoughtful person, I thought working on my mind is the way, but no. For me, it was the biggest change came when I went into taking up something like Iyengar yoga, right? And Tai Chi then gave me the realization on what the true meaning and the truth about life and the principles of the universe is all about, and how that changed my entire being.
Wow.
Yeah, and but that said, it sounds very like Zen. Conceptual and Zen and philosophical, but you know what?
Very Zen.
At the end of the day, like I said, it's all boils back down to environment. So if there's you need to have that conducive environment for you to practice some of these concepts, so to speak, right? And have the right mentors or right people to kind of guide you along the way or nudge you and be honest enough and say, hey, to call you out and say, hey, come on, I care enough for you that I'm going to share this with you honestly, right?
Yeah.
So this is where I think we want to lead into the coming webinar series.
Yeah.
Because these are the people that can give us the environment, right? And one of the biggest changes in the pandemic that has been brought about is the fact that people can't attend workshops and classes physically, right? But people can attend online classes and online events. And I know you have been really busy doing virtual events as well.
Yeah.
Right. So hopefully, in Uplift Cafe group, you can share more about your projects, so more people can participate in your virtual events. But upcoming for Uplift Guide, what we're excited about is to share with you some of the topics.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And we built this topic space on the pillars that's been set by World Health Organization, WHO, under the pillars for this campaign called Healthy at Home.
Yeah.
Right? Healthy at Home.
Yeah.
Right. So would you like to start
Yes.
rolling by introducing the speakers?
Yes, I love the first topic a lot because I think I'm going through that process right now. How do we stay physically active? Like keep yourself in motion is so important. Like do you guys jog in the morning? Do you guys like exercise? Or do you guys at least walk a lot during your, when you're in lockdown? I think staying physically active is so important, and I just wanted to echo all the things that these experts have said in their books, in their workshops, and all these experts that's going to be featured on our webinar series. So who's going to speak at our Staying Physically Active series? We're going to have Kit. He's a personal trainer, a bodyweight exercise and mobility coach. And we're going to also have Darren Teal. He's a publisher and lifestyle entrepreneur. And we have Sazi. She's a co-founder of Momentum, entrepreneur, actress, TV host, and fitness enthusiast.
So exciting!
Right, all these experts coming in, and I love it that they're coming from really different walks of life.
Yes, exactly, right.
Although it's about the same, similar topic.
I learned from you because when I was working on curating the speakers, I wanted to have diversity. I didn't want the whole topic to be all three gurus or teachers. So I wanted to have that mix. For example, Darren, I was very happy he accepted the invitation, and Darren is a serial entrepreneur, publisher, and he says, I don't teach yoga, I'm just a yoga practitioner. It's perfect, right?
Perfect,
yes. Right? So we want to hear from people from different backgrounds.
Shall we hear from them a little bit?
Yes,
we should. Videos of them.
Yes.
Let's play that. Let's introduce them.
Help you to navigate your mind and body through COVID-19. I'll be teaching a short 15-minute movement therapy class, and of course, I'll be sharing some tips on how to stay physically active at home in episode 3. So make sure I catch you guys online and see you soon.
Teo, publisher of the Page magazine. I am truly very, very excited to become part of this Uplift Guide series. In the upcoming episode on staying physically active, I will be sharing some useful tips and powerful tools for staying physically active and healthy. I will also recommend some simple workout without the gym. Meanwhile, stay safe, stay healthy, and take good care of yourself. Stay tuned. See you guys.
Hey everyone, it's me Sazi, and I am excited to be a part of the Uplift Guide webinar series, and I'll be sharing in an upcoming episode about how to stay physically active. So what I'll share about is what I did at home, how despite the pandemic, despite the movement control order, I kept my fitness regime on, and what I do and what I did and what I wear to make sure that motivates me to stay active. See you guys soon.
Thank you, Joel. It's okay. No worries. I don't think the audience minds. By the way, Joel is still single.
Okay.
Right? Available. And I heard you can do 10 pull-ups.
Yes.
It's okay, guys. Okay. All right. Okay. Next up, we've got episode 2. And episode 2, we've got two very interesting speakers, right? So we've got Randall Wong. He's been in the news a lot lately because of his success in Shake Easy Bar.
Wow.
Right? So he started Shake Easy Bar like in the middle of the pandemic. I think he's going on to his fourth or fifth branch already. Amazing. Right? And he's 51. I'm like, when I grow up, I want to be like him. At 51, he still looks like buff, and I don't know how much percentage fat does he have? Like 10% maybe?
Like
we should ask him. Like 5. So yeah, 51 and like really like ripped 6 packs and all. So we want to find out how he does it. Like, and this whole episode is all about eating healthily. And we're also featuring one of my favorite, I cannot say my favorite, otherwise it's a pin sum of favoritism, right? So one of my favorite colleagues at my clinic, Shukri. So Shukri is our dietitian and he's also a nutrigenomics specialist. So let's hear from them before we move on to episode 3, introduction.
Hi everyone, my name is Randall Wong, age 51 of Kuala Lumpur. I have been advocating health and fitness since I was 17 years old. I'm the owner of Get Fit with Randall Studio Gym, one-on-one personal training, and a healthy smoothie cafe called Shake Easy Bar. I believe eating healthier should be fun and sustainable. Unless you're in fitness competition, how can we apply eating salad or chicken breast every day? So now think about it, how do we apply this on a day-to-day working environment? So this is it. I will be as real and realistic as I can get. Hope to see you in my segment to get more of these hot tips. I'm very happy to be part of Uplift Guide because we have a mission, creating happiness, motivation and inspiration. We all hope to see you virtually. Meanwhile, Kita Jaga Kita is literal. Less ordering of desserts, cookies and cakes online, more of eating a healthier, balanced food, good carbs, good protein, good fiber and good fats. Having a strong immune system is crucial at this time. I'll see you later.
Hi, my name is Shukri. I'm your dietitian. I'm glad that I can be part of Uplift Guide webinar series. In next episode, I'll be talking about how to maximize nutrients intake, vitamins, minerals from our daily food intake. Especially during this pandemic, we have to enhance our immune systems so that we can protect our body from infections from the viruses. Stay tuned.
All right, we have Hope Liao.
So no,
these amazing people.
Right. So the third category, we're talking about mental health. Just now we mentioned about emotional aspect of things. Yes. Also, how do we stay sane and stay healthy mentally, right?
Shri was the one who shared with me about the whole the realization I had about the fact during pandemic when basically you are like faced with 4 walls, and that's when you get even more depressed because you have to face your inner demons.
So wonderful. We get to hear from her, right?
Hear from her, yeah.
So Shui is our speaker as well. She's a clinical hypnotherapist and the founder of U-Therapy. And also we have another person that's joining us for that as well. It's Master James Wong. And he's postural guru, the master of crystal sound healing, and yin yoga trainer as well. Yeah, again, different angles, different perspective from different people. I've never done
yin yoga before, so I'm really looking forward to learning from Master James.
How wonderful. Yeah, so we also have videos of them, right?
Yes, we do.
Let's play.
Hi everyone, my name is Shui. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist and also the founder of U-Therapy. I am really excited to be part of the Uplift Guide, and in the upcoming episode of the Uplift Guide to Staying Uplifted, I will be sharing with you tips on how to take care of your mental and emotional health, because it's so important to learn how to take care of that, especially during these difficult times where everything out there is not as what we expected. Anyway, do join me on the 23rd of September, because I will be showing you and I will be guiding you through the journey of how does the mind work and how you can use a tool like hypnosis to really help you be much more in control of your mind and your actions. Alright, so in between now and then, do take care, stay safe, and remember to breathe in some positivity whenever you can. Alright, so see you soon and take care.
through yin yoga stretch therapy and sound healing. So I'm going to give you a quick introduction on the relationship between yin yoga stretch therapy and sound healing therapy. So yin yoga and sound healing therapy is a blend of mindfulness practice, modern psychology, Chinese medicine, and the science behind neuroplasticity. So from the Chinese medicine standpoint, we always discuss about the body as a whole system, and is governed by the energy line of the meridian line itself. And meridian line can be defined as our prana, our life force, or chi flow in our body. And it's believed that the prana system or life force or chi flow helps flushes out any emotional trauma that caused blockages around our meridian line system. And of late, scientists have also studied and experimented by injecting blue dye into one of the acupuncture point of a meridian line. And what they saw was that blue ink has filled the whole line of the meridian line. So from these studies, we've understood that emotional trauma such as fear, sadness, anxiety issues can cause a chemical reaction in our nervous system to build up what we call a neural cluster that causes blockages in our meridian system. So from the yin yoga stretch therapy and mindfulness practice, we are adopting a very similar concept from Chinese medicine called acupuncture needle, where we place the needle on a particular acupuncture point on the meridian line. So what this does in this stretch therapy, we are holding on a position for a period of time where we allow your fascia and connective tissue to be stretched out so that we can penetrate deep into the nerve ending system of your nervous system. And with this stretch therapy and allowing yourself to be fully mindful in the position and be fully immersed into the pose itself, we allow the system to revive back its chi flow to flush out all these emotional cluster that is causing the blockages in the meridian line. And as for sound healing therapy, what it does is we're projecting sound vibrational frequency towards our brain waves to alter our state of consciousness. And this is linked to the concept of neuroplasticity, where we're trying to rewire a new pattern of brain waves, new pattern of thoughts, new habits, and new creativity. And from this practice, we're combining love and empathy to help us unclutter our emotions. So if you're interested to unlock your emotional Pandora box and learn how to deal with your emotions to have a big shift in your life, then join me for my yin yoga stretch therapy and sound healing talk on Uplift Guide to Stay Uplifted. Till then, stay safe and stay at home.
You managed to bring some positivity there.
I did.
Excellent. Everyone, let's do it together. Bring some positivity.
Okay.
Thank you, Shui. Thank you, Master James. Right, we actually have one more episode to go,
Yes,
right, which is
yes.
healthy parenting. The clips are not in yet, but I'm really looking forward to this last episode, which only happened around November.
Yeah.
It features two really, really amazing ladies. Daisy Ng, super powerhouse, dynamite,
It's amazing.
elite entrepreneur, award-winning. And I don't know how she does it. She's got 3 children, but you know what? She's going through a lot of stress as well. Right?
course.
She's like, so I'm going crazy now. I'm not sure whether I can hang on anymore, but it'd be really interesting to hear her talk about how she still manages a household with 3 kids. And I think her youngest is only like 2 years old. And she's running like a chain of kindergartens. So the best person to talk about parenting. You guys must sign up for this particular show. In fact, guys, are we able to put up that QR code again where people can sign up for the upcoming webinars? Thank you, Joel. Joel can do 10 pull-ups, yeah? It's still very available.
Yes, yes. everyone knows that right now.
Yeah, everybody knows. The whole world
Yeah.
knows now. All right, so apart from Daisy, my very, very good friend, we also have Dr. Felicia Song, our medical director. And I invited her because she's also like an amazing mother, right? She's got 2 kids, and I wanted to hear from how she juggles her life as a medical practitioner, a frontliner, and also doing a lot of other charity work, all at the same time being active in church and all that. So those will be the two last speakers we have on episode 4 of Uplift Guide.
It's exciting. I think, like besides all the speakers that were just mentioned, I think we need the voice of all of you as well in this series.
Yes,
right?
yes. And thank you for all those of you who have left us comments. Wow, very touching. Looking through it now. Thank you so much for all the acknowledgements. I feel a bit less stressed now.
I will read out some of the comments. We heard from Aina. It says that already hooked. Hooked on what?
Hooked. Okay.
On the program, I hope. Yeah. Alicia Chung said, nice and beautiful Tai Chi pose and handsome master. Yeah, you.
Oh, is that you? No.
Justin from
Dorothea.
Dorothea.
Dorothea is I think the president for More Spa, I think. Thank you for tuning in, Dorothea.
Patrick, your sharing is inspiring to others. Good to catch up with you here. See, I love it that people feel like this is a catching up. Right?
That's because you bring out the best in me.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Thank you.
So I think I wanted to just get everyone to participate more.
Yes.
And we want to hear from everyone. We have the last 10 minutes before we end the session. So everyone, if you're watching with us right now, I just want to hear a little bit from you. What does balance mean to you? How do you keep balance during this time? Okay, I think a lot of experts are watching as well, right? A lot of people that are using your own way to really interact with your, the people around you and to manage your stress. How do you keep your balance? Can you type it into the chat box and let us know that? Yeah.
What's the question again? What does balance mean to you?
Yeah, balance. Just now we mentioned so many different definitions about balance, but what about you? What does it mean to you?
Is it possible to strike a balance?
Yeah, is it possible?
Or is it always constantly on a balancing beam?
Yeah. Or how do you do that? Do you? I don't know.
The mothers, to housewives, to the mothers, to the wives, to the husbands, to everyone.
Yeah, and then I think because our lives confined into that this little space, we have to wear different hats at all times.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to navigate which one is a priority every day, right? So I think this narrow wall of choicelessness sometimes forces us to prioritize something that is more important to us right now.
I can't access to the.
Oh, I can access. I can read it. Yeah.
Oh,
so we have
live updates.
Yes, live updates. So I have Celia Teo said that. Celia said that Patrick is so good. You're humble to let us connect with you.
Humble, really, really humble.
Time to pause, reflect, and realign. That's what she got from this. I'm so glad that everyone felt that way right now. And David Ty said recharge, being the word that was really close to his heart right now. And Max says find a balance. Yeah, interesting. The word find.
I think we do have some comments coming in about balance, right? In the next slide.
Yeah. H.S. Tan said 接受放下.
Wow.
Was it you that mentioned something like 放下 was a really interesting thing that you cannot translate into English?
Yes. Because this was very interesting because it was a conversation with my editor. So I was explaining to her about letting go, and we had this debate. She says, just kind of like the question you asked me just now, how do you define gentle and not being gentle? When is the time to do so, right? So she had the same contention with me. She's like, we went on literally an argument for good half, not argument, we were really contending about it. And it was so hard to define or find a way to explain letting go. So letting go means does it mean give up?
Yeah.
Or in Chinese is better translated because it means, doesn't mean you 放弃. It means you 放下. You just let go.
You might be still carrying this, the good out of this thing with you, and move
you're not
forward
giving
with
up.
that.
You're just letting go.
But you're not letting it occupy your mind space anymore. Yeah, that's amazing. Alicia said find a balance again. I think I'm glad that people got that main point today.
Carol says, I agree with you completely, Carol. You know that, yeah.
Silintan is a great balance for you, Patrick.
Yes.
Okay, Karina said, balance for me is like what Patrick said, knowing when to go really fast and 110% focus at work. And when I rest at 100% too. Yeah. You love to use it and say it in Mandarin. Do you want to say it?
该慢就慢，该快就快。Say it one more time. 该慢就慢，该快就快。In fact, Karina, we were just having lunch. We were working through preparing for this session, and there were so many other things she had to do a report for like a patient for our doctor, you know, and then she was just juggling so many things, and she says it was already 3 o'clock and she refused to eat. I said,
No.
I said, just take 10 minutes of your time and just sit down and eat and not multitask. You know, even like our team just now, it was really quite hard to drag them away.
Oh gosh, it's so
because
hard.
they're so
They don't
committed.
eat.
Right? But I'm really glad they finally got them to the dining table and just be present and be mindful while they eat,
Yeah.
rather than trying to. I think too many people multitask too much
Yeah.
these days.
Yeah.
Find the balance.
Find the balance.
Find the balance. Don't do too many things at the same time.
Yeah, and Anna said something as well. Balance is ability to maintain a clear headspace. Ability. That's the word. You need
Ability
to train yourself and
to get
is it
clear
that you need to
headspace.
train yourself to do that, or you need to allow yourself to do that?
Can you say that again? Can I ask that question again?
So
Do you-
balance is the ability to maintain a clear headspace. So the ability to maintain, you know, is it the ability to,
Ah,
you know, to allow yourself to do that?
I think it's already there. You just need to find it and allow it.
Allow it,
Yeah.
right?
You need to train it. Yeah.
So everyone is
Yeah.
hearing this, you know.
Oh, I want to offer something else, like about the mind, right? The
Mhm.
nature of the mind. So another very useful thing I learned from Headspace. Headspace, by the way, love it, love it, love it. It's on Spotify. It's on Play Store. It's on Netflix as well. And one of the things that they explain so well is that imagine your brain and your mind is typically clouded, has a lot of clouds, right? And the process of mindfulness is just literally observing the clouds slowly, kind of like, what do you call that? Disappearing.
烟消云散.
Say that again. 烟消云散.
烟消云散.
云
It's like just
disappear
disappear away.
slowly, bit by bit, right?
Yeah.
And it then clears off to reveal the true nature of the mind, which is clear and blue, just like clear or completely clear, just like the blue sky.
Yeah.
So in other words, the mind is clear.
Yeah.
The mind is actually pure.
Wow.
It's just that it gets clouded. So you don't need to really like train it. You just need to let go and let
allow
it, just allow it to go back to its nature.
How amazing.
Amazing, right? That way they explain
Beautiful. So if everyone here that is listening to this needs a permission slip, here is it. You know,
Just
You
allow
allow
it. Just allow it.
Yeah.
Just allow your mind to.
Yeah. So James said something here. Balance is to be aware of the constant changes we go through. The power to create harmony between your responsibilities and finding time daily to bring things that you pleasure, personal fulfillment and rejuvenation. Balance comes from within.
That's Master James, by the way.
Oh, hello.
Master James is going to be in our first
yeah.
episode, right? Thank you, Master
Thank
James.
you so much for
Namaskar.
contributing this. It's amazing.
I'm really looking forward to learning Yin Yoga from you. Right?
Yeah, definitely. And Carol has some really practical advice here. Balance is so broad, yes, but after 6 p.m., she won't respond to any work-related matters and tune in for dinner, news, my cross-stitch, and wind down. Then we start again the next day at 9 a.m. for work. On weekend, I go and have my me time.
Where do you go for your me time, Carol? This is a bit of advertising because she usually comes to our clinic on weekends. Okay, just kidding. Okay. All right, just couldn't resist being the marketing person I am. Right?
That's wonderful.
Okay,
So,
alright.
so Patrick, we have our last 3 minutes here. I just want to take this chance
Yes.
to thank everyone again. You know, thank you so much for spending time with us on this Friday
Joel, can you put up
dinner.
that the QR code again for people to sign up for the upcoming episode? Sorry for interrupting, buddy. Yeah,
No worries.
go ahead.
So guys, take this chance to really scan and sign up for this webinar series. You know, just now I just wanted to thank everyone, and you know, we still have time to wrap up a little bit for the last 2 minutes. So, Patrick,
Wow.
yes,
You want me to have the last words, huh?
of course. You know, what do you think the audience needs to know now? Now that they know everything you've just said, are they ready for the next message?
I don't have any new messages. If anything, I just want to reiterate, like, hopefully I think everybody will probably take away something different. Everyone's different, right? So, if there's 3 things, I would say there's 3 things that I hope people will remember from this session is, again, remember the importance of the environment. That's closely linked to having the awareness, right? So awareness and environment, number 1. Number 2, be gentle, but not too gentle. And then number 3, find a guide. If you can't find a guide, join Uplift Guide. Hey, not bad, huh?
Amazing. Tacky, but okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, so I'm looking forward to the upcoming episodes, and thank you, buddy. You'll be with us
Yes,
again
we
for
will.
the rest of the series.
Yes, we will.
Thank you so much.
No
for doing this.
problem.
Yeah, thank you.
We wish to gather with all of you again on our Uplift Guide series, and I hope that you get some motivational hacks so that you can stay uplifted during this lockdown. So, stay safe.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Good night.